Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Startup Junkies Podcast. Before we begin, we would just like to say thank you for joining us, however, whenever, or wherever you are. My name is Matthew Ward, and I'm on the Startup Junkie team. Today, I have my co-host with me, Jeff Amerine, who is the founder and managing director of Startup Junkie, and Caleb Talley, who is the director of marketing and events of Startup Junkie Foundation. How are you guys doing today?
Doing
Happy it's
good.
Friday. Yeah, doing good.
Good, good, good. So, before we meet our special guests, we want to tell you about Tiny Capital. Are you looking to sell your wonderful internet business? Tiny partners with founders to give them quick, straightforward exits that protect their team and culture. They'll make an offer within a week, close the deal within a month, and keep your business operating for the long term. Get in touch at tinycapital.com/startup junkies, and they'll let you know within a couple of days. Now, today we have Etienne Bernier with us. Tell you a little bit about him. With a decidedly unconventional background for a tech entrepreneur, Etienne was a former Quebec City firefighter before making the radical career shift into the tech community. In 2013, Etienne was playing in an adult hockey league and experienced never-ending frustrations over the lack of functional and affordable tools available for managing organized sports teams and leagues. With this in mind, Etienne set out to change the way amateur teams are managed and founded Kreezee Sports. Etienne, thanks for coming on, and could you tell us more about your experience with Kreezee Sports?
Yeah, thanks for having me here, guys, today. Um, my background first, I went to college for 2 years on business administration. And then I watched a movie. I don't know if you guys will remember it, but the Backdraft movie uh,
Absolutely.
with Kurt Russell and I think William Baldwin. And it made me fall in love with the firefighting job. So I decided to make a small switch of career, I'd say. And I went to Firefighter Academy in Montreal for 3 years. And then I got hired here in Quebec City as a professional firefighter in 1995. Uh, but I still had in mind to, I was an entrepreneur in myself. So I was having in mind to start my own business. And a friend of mine called me and he wanted me to join him in a web development company in Ottawa, the Canadian capital. So I said yes, and I joined them for 7, 8 years. Um, I had a few different roles in that business, like sales, project development, and whatever it is. So I went through all sorts of job in that business, and I got a lot of I got some knowledge in technology, which I didn't have before I joined that company. And after 8 years out there, because it was 5 hours away from home, I decided to end it up and come back closer to my family because I had two kids at that time. And traveling out there after my firefighter shift was kind of a difficult time with dealing with the family and stuff. So I decided to stop it and come back to full time in Quebec City. And then, as Matthew said earlier, I was playing in a adult hockey league, and I was looking for a product that would be allows me to post the schedule, scores, and stats, and everything. And all the products available at that time, the free ones were not high quality, and the good ones were very expensive and complicated to use. So I called my friend, an old friend of mine in high school. He was a developer at that time. And I asked him if he was willing to get in the venture with me to build a software that would solve my own problem and probably a lot of people too. So he joined me in this venture, and this is how we started Kreezee. We worked on the blueprints and then we started in 2014. We launched our first version. I mean, it was beta. We had a few customers testing it the first year, and then afterward we went to make user acquisition on the market. And I'd say the first 3 4 years we had a free version. Now we moved to paid plans, and we have great plans for the platform in the future.
That's very exciting and definitely non-conventional journey. You know, one of the things that comes up a lot is having the courage to start something new. You know, step away from a stable job or an enterprise. But talk about how being a firefighter, informed your ability to go into that, face those fears, and press forward. I mean, it just strikes me that that would be one of the jobs where you'd have to face a little bit of fear every day, and there'd be an element of courage. How did that help you as an entrepreneur?
Uh, I mean, I think you're dealing differently with the challenge that are facing you. I mean, to deal with someone trapped in a car or in a fire, compared to dealing with looking for money or
Mhm.
or having the service down is quite different.
Yeah,
Your perspective of the I mean, the emergency is different.
sure.
I mean, you get, I mean, you keep control of yourself in those situations, and you keep reminding yourself that no one's life is in danger. So that's the huge difference, I think, because you've seen a lot of people uh, having, almost dying in a car crash or whatever it is, and then you're dealing with business, which is, I mean, you have to consider it as a challenge, not someone's life in danger. So
That's good perspective. That's good perspective. Typically, no one dies in entrepreneurship. I mean,
also,
it's not life or death.
But comparatively, how might you compare, your entrepreneurial journey to, playing hockey and taking some punches? Like, how would you make that comparison?
well, I mean, I used to be going to penalty box a lot when I played. So I would say, I mean, if you're the leader of the company, you have to take the punches. Maybe that's the relation between business and hockey. But yeah, I think in business, I mean, it takes a lot of courage, and you have to be what's the right word for it? I mean, you have to you have to never give up, and I mean, you're facing a lot of things like funding and HR, because when you start, you're doing it by yourself with your friends. We joined a couple of friends with us, but as soon as the project gets bigger, so you're facing different challenge. Like I said, funding was one of them, and I think when you're the CEO of a business, you have to take all the punches, like I said, for the company, and be ahead of them and protect your own company, and deal with those challenges.
It seems like with COVID, there has been sort of recovery in sports now, but when it initially hit, um, there was definitely a decline in people playing sports because of close proximity. How did Kreezee Sports get through that?
Well, we've been very lucky in the timing, because I mean, at the end of 2019, we started looking for a new financing round, and we started discussion with a private equity group here in Quebec. We met them before COVID happened, so, and then we did close that deal on March 29th. Obviously, they could have get out of that deal because of COVID, but they were pretty confident into us, and I mean, we didn't know at that time how long it would last. Um, so in that part, I mean, the financial part of the business, we've been lucky because we got these investors. It was around like nearly $1 million, including like a couple grants here in Quebec that joined the venture. Um, but yeah, on that side of the business, we've been very lucky. The I'd say the dark side of the COVID with our business is that the traffic is very low in our websites, because we do provide websites to sports, clubs, leagues, and tournaments. So yeah, the traffic has been very low since the COVID happened, because A lot of leagues are shut down for the entire season. Youth sport, I mean, there are a lot of travel restrictions between states and provinces. Here in Quebec, there's a curfew um, from 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. So, and all youth sports, even scholastic leagues I mean, they ended up their season, so there's no action right now in the youth sport industry. We have a couple of tournaments running each weekends, depending on the states, because we do have like 60% of our business is in the states for now, and we know that some states run tournaments, but they do not have big events that like we used to have before. Like I do remember in 2019 we had a tournament in Detroit. It was the biggest one in the U.S. for hockey. It was 354 teams. So we don't see it right now because I mean because travel teams are staying in their own states. So that's the main difference with the COVID. But I'd say on the other side, we get a lot of new customers joining the company. The main reason why is because the managers have more time to spend on looking at the website, revamping it, and move from their current platform to our platform. So they get a lot of free time for it because they don't have to manage like the schedules and stuff like that. So it makes them having time to talk to us and I mean, we got like I think it's 25% more websites live since March 15 last year. So uh, that's a good thing for us.
I'd be curious about, and you mentioned that you got a capital raise done. And I've done a fair amount of work in Manitoba and in Nova Scotia over the years with the startup scenes in those locations. I've always been really impressed by how proactive the government is in terms of tax credits and incentives and different things. How do you find the startup scene in general in Quebec City?
Uh,
I'd really be curious of your insights on that.
Yeah, I'd say first, if I talk about the province itself, there's a huge difference between the Montreal market and Quebec market.
Mhm.
I'd say Montreal is a bit ahead of us in the startup industry. They have a couple shows a year going on out there. But here in Quebec, we have a few organizations that are doing like a great job, like you guys do. We have Le Camp Quebec, which is doing a great job for startups. Quebec International, which is uh, giving a lot of advice to startups who wants to export their product outside the borders. So, and we've got their help and assistance in the past. Yeah, that's where we are right now in Quebec. And I'd say there's a huge difference in venture capital in Canada regarding tech companies than in the US. I've seen it traveling because we did travel a lot for the business before COVID happened and the border were closed. So I've seen a couple shows of venture capital, and there's a huge difference in the mindset of people on your side. I mean, I think people are more nervous to invest in tech companies like us here in Quebec. And I wouldn't say about Canada because I don't know about other provinces, but dealing with venture capital here in Quebec, I mean, you have to find the right partner. Uh, I'd say the main challenge for a Quebec startup is to find the right investor, the one who will believe in you and will invest in you and not making you nervous about what's going to happen when you get out of funds. Will it help you for the next round or not? So, and I mean, I'm very glad that we did find this partner right now.
Well, that's great. Congratulations on getting the raise done. It's never any fun, regardless of where you are. Raising money
Now,
is terrible. So
Yeah, it's painful.
yes, indeed. Indeed.
Yeah.
And I'd be interested to know, just about the process of, how you go about finding customers or clients to be a part of the platform. Are you seeking them out? Are they seeking you out? What's that interface look like when they do kind of onboard into that system?
Uh, well, if I make the history of our user acquisition, when we first started, when we first launched the platform, it was free, as I said earlier, and we had a self-service option, so people could create an account with us, create their own website, and not even talk to us. So it was totally new in the market. No one else had it in our industry. So this made us get in touch with a lot of people trying the platform, because every time someone created a website, so we received an email, so we got in touch with them, and it ended up like having us finding a lot of customers using it. And we started with calling and contacting people around Quebec City, people we were familiar with. So we had a lot of contacts in the sports, so around Quebec. So we grew our user base a lot here at first. And then sometimes you need to be lucky to to get to the next level. And we had a customer in Montreal. It's a youth hockey tournament, the Montreal Meltdown. They have a great reputation in the tournament industry, and he gave us like the project to run his websites. And then because of that, we met John St. Pierre, who was at that time the CEO of Legacy Global Sports. And Legacy Global Sports was one of the leader in the youth sports industry in the US. And he used our platform over there. And me and Dominic, my business partner, we were at the tournament at that time, and we met John, and we convinced them to try the platform for one event that he was running with the company. And because they were running like over 50 tournaments a year, including the one in Detroit with 354 teams. He didn't start with this one, obviously. We started with the small one, but having that customer in our portfolio, it made us having a great showcase. And then a lot of people joined us because the credibility was there because of that customer. So that's one of the main reasons why we got into the US market so fast, and that we grew a lot. Because I mean, when you have big names using your software, it's way easier to get new customers joining your software.
You going to stay strictly focused on hockey, or do you expand into other sports as well?
We mainly focused on hockey at first, but we will focus on we will focus on baseball, soccer, hockey, football, and basketball. I mean, those are the top five sports I think in the U.S. In Canada. So those are the sports we want to focus on. I mean, we're getting a lot of new customers in soccer and baseball. Here in Quebec, we'll get like the major league here in Quebec. Those are senior players who played in junior and college, and they still want to play, and it's a high level of play. So with that customer joining us, I think we'll get a great reputation in the baseball league industry. So yeah, these are the main five sports we'll focus on right now.
You think that the increased popularity of youth baseball might draw the MLB back into Canada and in Montreal specifically, I
Yeah,
guess?
I mean, I'd like to, because I mean, I think it's a matter of time before we get a club back. I would like to have a hockey club back in Quebec as well, but I'm not sure it's gonna happen. But yeah, I'm pretty sure we will get our expos back, hopefully in the next 5-10 years. I'd say. and with a great new stadium in downtown with open sky, hopefully.
Etienne, what does success look like for you in the next 3 to 5 years with Kreezee
Uh,
Sports?
Next 3 year, our goal is to get to 10 million users. Right now, when COVID happened, we were at 1.8 million user a year, and we doubled our staff since September last year. And now we were looking for a next round, maybe at next fall. We want to look for a new round. We just started looking for it right now. And in the next 10 years, we'd like to get to 50 million users in the platform. But yeah, now that we know what we want to, so we need to find out how to get there. So this is a challenge.
To get there, do you have to expand into Europe as well and other geographies?
Right now, I would say there's a lot of low-hanging fruit here in North America.
Mm-hmm.
Europe is a very different market. We went there. We have customers over there, obviously, because it's a web-based platform, so there's no bother
Sure.
to sell it. We have a good showcase over there. We have World Hockey Group using the platform. They're based in Sweden. Um, the I mean, they are high level hockey tournaments. They're a great showcase for us, but I mean, it's a lot of money to invest to develop that market. Because as we're based in Canada, there's a huge difference in traveling. I mean, I know we can do business from here, but when you want to build great relationship with your customers, you have to meet them face to face one day if you want to have a better relationship with them and have a better understanding of their needs. And going to we went to Sweden a couple of times, and it's very expensive for us to go there. So before we try to expand the market in Europe, we'd really like to focus on the North American market. And right now we're focusing on Northeast and the Great Lakes as we get a lot of customers in uh, these states. So this is where we wanna focus right now. Not that we will not accept any customer coming from Europe, obviously, but we will not focus. We will not invest time and money in getting customers from Europe right now.
Etienne, what does the competitive landscape look like for Kreezee Sports?
There are big competitors. When we started, we had to look at them, obviously, to build our business model because we wanted to be different from them. And we did realize that talking to our prospects and customers that one of the main issues they were facing with the competitors we had, they were I mean, the friendliness of user friendliness of the platforms. Then the pricing was very high because I mean most of the sports organizations doesn't have a huge budget. I mean they are running with a very low budget. So this is for them it's like it was very expensive to spend money into a website. And the other thing is the customer support was not there. They were offering customer support on weekdays, sorry, and most of them are working on weekends. Like tournaments, youth arcade tournaments are running at weekends. You never see any tournament running on from Monday to Thursday. So that's one of the things we wanted to offer to our customers. So I think if you call any of our customers, if you call customers of us and you ask them if they get a great customer support, I'm 100% certain that they will reply that they have an outstanding customer support.
Jeff, Caleb, you got any more questions before you land the plane?
There's always one final one that we like to ask, which is a good one. I mean, you've had a lot of life experience. You're now well into what you're doing at Kreezee Sports. If you knew 5 years ago what you know now, what advice would you have given your younger self as you were getting ready to launch into this venture?
I would never spend one more minute with someone who doesn't believe in my project. Uh, I'd say, uh, looking backward, there's a lot of people I met, a lot of people I did spend too much time with them, trying to convince them that my project is the best one for them to invest or to join as a customer. And I would just focus on those who are willing to get into the venture with me and join me as a partner, not as someone who's gonna always spying on what I'm doing and everything. So yeah, this is one of the things I'd say, and I got this advice from one of the investor we got. That's what he said: never spend any minute with someone who's not believing in your project at first, because anyways, he'll slow you down during the venture somehow. So you're better not spending time with those people.
It's a great insight, and honestly, we probably haven't heard that a lot from people. I mean, normally it's about how to overcome objections, but sometimes you just ignore the objections and go on to the next
But
person
yeah,
that's
it's a matter of feelings.
interested. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a matter of feelings. I
Yeah.
mean, because sometimes you feel desperate about, I mean, raising money and you always try to convince that one that you have in front of you, but in I mean, in your mind, you know that he will never invest, so you feel it, but you're unable to convince yourself that that you should go. So
Yeah. No, it's great. That's a great insight. So where can our audience, we've got downloads now in 100 countries, lots of soccer players on a worldwide basis that may be interested in what you're doing amongst other sports, obviously, but where can they find out more? What's the best way for them to learn more about what you're doing?
they obviously you can visit our Kreezee.com website. It's a brand new website. We just launched it a week ago. And obviously they can reach me on LinkedIn as well. They can look for my name. Yeah, I guess you'll have to write it down on the
We'll put
interview.
it in the show notes, definitely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
but they can reach me on LinkedIn if they have any questions regarding startup or the interview. No problem. And yeah, the website is the main page where they can find a lot of things about what we do and yeah.
Perfect. Thanks so much for coming on. We really
Hey,
enjoyed learning more about your story and best of luck with everything that you're doing in the future.
hey, thanks so much, guys, and I'd like to say thank you for all the great work you do for the startup.
Glad to do it.
Hey, have a good day. Bye
You
bye.
too.